Good evening, everyone. Today we want to take a look at Pixel Lab. Pixel Lab is direct opposite of Canva. Canva has a lot of templates that we can decide to use, but Pixel Lab is a working studio whereby we start every single design from scratch. Let's start from our first bar up here. Here we see the plus here, which helps us to be able to add text. We can add date, we can add sticker, we can add shapes, we can also pick from gallery or we decide to draw. Then this other one has to do with saving our work. We can either save as project or we save as image. When we save as image, we save as either PNG, that is portable graphics, which is always fine to avoid or to have access to good quality output of whatever we do. Then we can choose dimension. It is always good for us to use either high, very high, or ultra for a good output. Then we save to our gallery. Then the other tab there is share. We can decide to share whatever we have done immediately we are through. Here is quote. We can select a quote. If we want to make a motivation, we have success quote, friendship quotes, happiness, inspiration, positivity, absurd. Then under the language here, there are two languages. We have English and French. So that's the simple template that this has. Then under this last tab, we can pick image from gallery to be our background. We can work on full screen. We can pick camera. We can pick our image directly using the camera. We can export image. We can change the image size. This image size is where we can choose the custom ratio we want to work on. Let me change this one to 1240 by 2580. You will see it has already changed the size. So this is when we want to work on flyer, but the default setting is always 1 by 1. 1240 by 1240 will give us 1 by 1. This is the normal default setting. Then to the next tab, we have edit, which is editing our present text. If we are typing under edit here, we can edit our text. We can change the text size. This is for changing text size. This is text size. Then this is copy. This is rotate. This is relative size. This is color. This is change to front. This is change to back. These are the features under edit, and this other one is for deleting. Here, if we have done something and want to correct it, we use this button to back. That's our back button. Then we can zoom. Then we have a grid line. This grid line helps us to know if our work is aligned. For example, let me quickly do something here. So we can see that it gives us a grid line. This grid line helps us to know where we are. So that is the function of this grid line, is to tell us, are we at the center? Where are we while walking? Now, this particular last one is used for several purposes. We can see we can lock whatever we are doing. Once we lock it and we come back here, we'll not be able to touch anything again. It's already locked. We don't have access to it. If we want to have access to it, maybe we want to edit, we'll come back here, we unlock. Then we can edit directly from here, having the same features that we saw the other time. We can hide it. We can hide the text if we don't want anybody to see it, and we can at the same time delete from here. That is that about the title bar. Now let's come down here. Down here, these my project are the projects that I have done before and I want to go back to. These are the few ones I have done with Pixel Lab. Then default here is the default setting. This is the default background. Then we can choose a background here, anyone. We can choose anyone that suits us. That is for this one. Now let's go back to default. Then we'll come to this last bar. Under this last bar we have the home, then we have text. Under text, let's say I got now I can edit it if there is a mistake. If there is none, I press OK. I can choose to delete it. I can make a copy and make it double. We are not designing anything in this video. I am only taking us around this Pixel Lab. If I want to make the second one go to the front, I can tap this. If I want it to go back, I will tap it. Because they are the same, the effect doesn't show. Let me change this one to something else. Now if I want my live training to show ahead of the smartphone, it's already showing ahead. Now I want it behind. I'll send. So you can decide is now in front. If I want the smartphone to be at the back, I'll send it back. So now if I want to position it, this one you can move it up, you can move it down, you can move it left, you can move it right. Then depending on how far you want to take it, that's the speed here. That's how that one works. Then the relative position, this one gives us, maybe we want it to be at the edge or middle. That's the function of those edges. Then we have text size. How big do you want your text to be? How small do you want it? Then we have text padding. Which side do you want it to be? Do you want it just to be at the middle? That one is just setting. Then we can choose a color. In subsequent video, we'll see how we can do all these effectively. You can decide to choose a color from gradient. Then we can choose a texture. I'll be giving us several images we can use as texture and the one we can use as background. Let's choose a texture for this text. Let's see if it will work. You can see that the output is there. Now let me remove the color so that the texture will come out. So once texture is there, the color will be off. Then we can increase the opacity of the text. How fade should it be? How bright should it be? We can rotate to whichever degree we want. I want it back normal. Then we can select our font. I'll be uploading some font for us for use. That is where you see under my font. I want this. So then we choose a style. Do we want it bold? Do we want it italics, underline? Then this T is to clear all that we have done. Then we can choose to curve it. So now to make it reasonable, I'll have to reduce the size. Reducing the size brings it around here. So this curve here is used for that. It depends. If we have been working on CorelDRAW before, this is what fixed text to path will do for us. Then we can choose a background. Although I'm not designing, but let me make it meaningful a bit. So we are on background. Then alignment, you want to justify it. Then the spacing, like in Canva, we can reduce the words or the letter size and the likes. Now to stroke, look at what stroke will do. Can you see? Stroke add what is called hairline. You cannot choose a color for your hairline. I like it as black. You can increase the thickness of your hairline, but remember, the thicker it is, the meaningless it becomes. So a hairline of 4 or 3 is very okay. So now let's see what shadow gives. Can we see? Now we can choose a color for our shadow. The opacity of our shadow means a lot. Then the blurriness of our shadow will show how far our shadow will go. Our shadow can go very wide in blurring or just within the range of our text and others. Now when I picked outglow, this is the outglow. Well, I don't want that. So then the inner shadow will also add something to our text, we can see is becoming something. Now, emboss here, we it gives us a thicker version, or it add a special add to our text. The bevel level is very important for us to take note of. The hardness should not be much, and we want the ambient light and the intensity to be balanced. In further designs, we will see how these are used. Let's change this to 3D text, and we give it a depth of 4. Our depth should always be not be more than 4. Can decide to darken it. Then we give it a shape. So at the end of the day, even though we are not designing, we came up with something. Now, our 3D shadow and reflection. So depending on how we want it to reflect. This is how all these things we have been seeing on maybe adverts or whatsoever. This is how they are done. So we want to choose a perspective now for our design. The perspective, we should not let it be too much, but I want it to be shown outside a bit. So we'll see what it gives now. Sorry, I have to undo it. So that is for text. Then now on the second side is shape. We can import a shape from our gallery. I want to import one. Just to depict my smartphone. So now let's say I want to make a kind of mock-up for this. It's having almost the same design for as we have it in text. The designs are almost the same. So the more we play around this, the better we get to understand it. This erased color, assuming there is a color here, we can easily erase it. Then we can see how the effect is being added. So we also want to always keep our width at a very low space. Then we give it a shadow, both outside and inner shadow. Then to the third side, we can select our background here. If we want a transparent background or we want image, we can select our image here for our background. Then we can decide to choose our background from gallery. I'm doing that. Then the last side, we can choose if we want to add any noise. You can see that's vintage, then stripes. We can adjust the brightness and contrast here, the saturation and the likes here. That is what Pixel Lab is all about. At the end of the day, we have been able to come up with smartphone preneur depicting a smartphone. Now you will see that I want to tap this live training, but I'm not able to tap it. Why? Because this phone is already covering it. Now I don't want to move this phone outside before I'll be able to tap it. What do? I just come back here, then I will lock this smartphone. Once I lock it, I'll be able to tap live training with ease. So that is just a brief overview of Pixel Lab. Further videos will show us how we can design a mock-up logo, how we can design a 3D logo, how we can design flyer, and how we can design normal logo. All this will be given in the subsequent videos. Thank you.